Actors get paid to pretend they're someone else, and when they're totally overtaken by their own performances, unexpected things can and will happen. Some of the best cinematic moments have come from on-set surprises.
لا تنسى الاشتراك في القناة.
There! You like it? You like it?
Here are 10 popular actors who lost control and took it too far. Seth Rogen in The Interview. Once a movie is released, the creators have very little control over what happens next. Sometimes it makes it all the way through production and gets shut down just before crossing the finish line. Directors Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg knew this all too well, and if you've ever heard of 2014's The Interview, then you do too. The story centers on a producer and TV host who travel to North Korea and are given the assignment to kill Kim Jong-un. As you can probably imagine, the real Kim Jong-un wasn't a fan of the storyline, and threatens retaliation if the movie were to be released, saying all publicity for the movie would be considered an act of terrorism.
The end!
Leonardo DiCaprio in Django Unchained. Over the course of his career, Leo DiCaprio has cemented his reputation as a serious actor. He's a profitable Hollywood star, and he's been in some of the best films of the past decade. While his roles have been varied, his turn as Calvin Candy in Django Unchained was the first time the renowned actor got to be the bad guy, and he was really good at it. DiCaprio got so deep into the character that when he sliced his hand open on a broken glass during one rant, he didn't even notice. Nothing looks better than the real thing, so obviously Tarantino chose that take for the final cut. Isla Fisher in Now You See Me. Everyone loves a good underwater trick, but because of their environment, safety crews sometimes have a difficult time figuring out where the acting ends and real distress begins. During the filming of her scene in the opening montage of Now You See Me, actress Isla Fisher almost drowned after getting tangled up in her submerged chains. Since that's also what's happening to her character at the time, people on set have admitted to not knowing if Fisher needed assistance for real or if she was just a really great actress. Thankfully, the actress was able to untangle her own chains before the situation turned fatal. George Clooney in Syriana. George Clooney is one of the most popular actors in Hollywood history. So of everyone on this list, you might think that production would work the hardest to keep him safe. But nevertheless, as we've seen before, accidents have a way of happening regardless. While filming a torture scene for Syriana, the actor flipped his chair just a little too hard, and the result was an injury so horrific that the actor has openly discussed how the pain of it made him contemplate suicide. The actor went some time without knowing what was wrong, but after getting checked out, it was learned that he was leaking spinal fluid. We're not medical professionals, but even we know that's not good. Like really not good. Jason Statham in The Expendables 3. Everything about Jason Statham screams cool. His accent, attitude, and ability to kick anyone's ass are all intimidating traits, to say the least. Oh, and he does all of his own stunt work too. Not many actors can say that. Statham comes from a background of lower budget fare and got used to the risky maneuvers. But when filming Expendables 3, the actor almost met his maker. The stunt was rigged so that a truck he was driving would stop, allowing him to get out and start shooting. Except that the truck didn't stop, and when it went over the edge into the Black Sea, it took the actor with it. This is where normal people might start pooping their pants, but not Statham. The former champion diver got out and swam to safety like it was no big deal. Channing Tatum in Foxcatcher. Channing Tatum has been in movies all over the map. The actor can handle comedy, drama, and action to be sure. For his role in Foxcatcher, the actor got deep into character. So deep that he actually put his face through a mirror. That's right, folks. Channing Tatum was so devoted to the role that he put his face through a mirror. And even though it was covered with a sheet of plastic, the mirror was a very real one, and resulted in very real lacerations that bled very real blood. The actor was so immersed in his performance that he hardly noticed, but nobody on set could look away.
You're about to be killed by a Zamboni!
Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool. With the exception of one movie where he dons a fat suit, Ryan Reynolds has never looked out of shape. But that doesn't mean he didn't feel out of shape. No stranger to the world of comic book movies, the actor was over the moon to be playing Deadpool in a right proper Deadpool story. Reynolds was so stoked, in fact, that on the first day of his Deadpool workout, the actor went so hard that he threw out his back first thing. The actor described literally crawling on all fours home from the gym because of the immense pain. It's not the first time he's been injured in the line of duty either. He also separated his shoulder during filming on Green Lantern. Jeremy Renner in The Avengers. A large part of what makes superheroes super is their ability to run into the middle of a brawl and emerge relatively unscathed. Sure, caped crusaders end up with some bumps and bruises along the way, but they definitely don't see it as a reason to slow down, except that those near-invincible characters are played by humans, and are therefore susceptible to things like fatigue, injury, and full-on incapacitation. This is exactly what happened to mortal man Jeremy Renner while filming The Avengers. According to Joss Whedon, the actor hurt his back and shoulder badly enough that the movie's production shut down for days afterwards. Chris Evans in Captain America: Civil War. Captain America is an all-around useful guy to have on your team. He's in perfect physical condition, wields a vibranium shield, is hella smart, and he's nice to boot. Chris Evans plays him so well that it's hard to imagine a time where he wasn't playing the captain. It's a role that has required the actor to stay in shape for years at a time, thanks to the character's prominence in the MCU. That super strength has its limits though, and as much as we'd like to believe that Evans really can stop a helicopter mid-takeoff, it's just not the reality. While performing the stunt where Cap holds onto a rope to do just that, the prop helicopter slipped in a direction it wasn't supposed to, and as a result, the actor's arm is messed up. Apparently, it still hurts.
Help me, sweetheart.
Margot Robbie in The Wolf of Wall Street. Margot Robbie's career is so hot right now that she could probably smack the Pope and get away with it. But back when the actress was filming The Wolf of Wall Street, she was a relative unknown. Sharing a screen opposite Leonardo DiCaprio is a noob's worst nightmare. That's the guy from Titanic. He's a megastar. We've heard how Robbie downed tequila in preparation for a nude scene, but nothing could have prepared her for another tense moment on set. In the heat of her performance, the actress slaps DiCaprio in the face. After realizing that face was attached to a multi-billion-dollar celebrity, she worried the actor might sue. But quite the opposite happened. He was so impressed that he insisted she do it again. Margot Robbie just can't lose.